Donald Trump is losing it after his catastrophic deal with Iran has been exposed as a complete and utter surrender. So now Donald Trump is pushing that propaganda into high gear. He's enlisting the help of state regime media, which calls itself Fox News. And now he's trying to sell to the markets and sell to the American people that this is an incredible deal and that he's basically doing a joint venture with the Ayatollah Mojaba, and they're going to make so much money together. And now the U.S. is just going to hang out in the Middle East, party there and just see what's going on. And it is a golden age right now. Let me show you what Donald Trump is saying. Let's fact check what's happening. This is real. This is demented 25th Amendment stuff, as we've been calling for over and over again. So Donald Trump has a phone call with AFP, the news agency, and Trump states that the United States has achieved total and complete victory, 100%, no question about it, in the Iran war, following the announcement of a 2-week ceasefire with Iran. Trump added that he believes China persuaded Iran to make a deal as the deadline approached Tuesday, and that the country's stockpile of highly enriched uranium will be perfectly taken care of under the ceasefire agreement between Iran and the United States. Don't worry, I'll fact check that in a moment. Then he goes on his social media platform, utterly deranged. He posts, "A big day for world peace. Iran wants it to happen. They've had enough. Likewise, so has everyone else. The United States of America will be helping with the traffic buildup in the Strait of Hormuz. There will be lots of positive action. Big money will be made. Iran can start the reconstruction process. We'll be loading up with supplies of all kinds and just hanging around in order to make sure that everything goes well. I feel confident that it will, just like we are experiencing in the U.S. This could be the golden age of the Middle East." Let me reiterate one more time what the 10-point plan that Donald Trump agreed to actually states. A commitment by the United States and Israel, it's supposed to be both, non-aggression in the entire region. Iran keeps control over the Strait of Hormuz and gets to charge a $2 million toll to passing ships, and ships can't pass by unless they pay the toll and are escorted by the Iranian Navy. And Iran says that it will only allow 10 to 15 ships in the 2-week period where the ceasefire is in place. 3, acceptance of Iran's uranium enrichment. One of the things that Donald Trump agreed to in accepting this 10-point plan is that Iran gets to make nuclear weapons and enrich its uranium. 4, lifting of all primary sanctions. 5, lifting of all secondary sanctions. 6, termination of all UN Security Council resolutions against Iran. 7, termination of all Board of Governor resolutions. 8, paying compensation to Iran for the damage done during the war. 9, withdrawal of all U.S. combat forces from the entire region. 10, cessation of war on all fronts, including in Lebanon and in Yemen and Iraq and all of the surrounding areas. And Trump says that this plan is very, very workable. We're very, very workable. So you go back to Donald Trump and he's like, our United States Navy is going into the Strait of Hormuz. No, it isn't. Iran didn't agree to that. So if that happens, war will break out right away, because that's not what Iran agreed to. What Iran said is that it will have its Navy escort the ships. The ships will pay Iran and Oman $2 million. Iran controls the Strait of Hormuz. Iran made that very clear. Donald Trump says that uranium will be perfectly taken care of. No, because what you agreed to is that uranium enrichment can continue. What else is Donald Trump saying? That he believes China persuaded Iran to make a deal as the deadline approached. We all know it was the exact opposite. You were so thirsty and desperate to have a deal because you set an 8 p.m. Eastern deadline that you just agreed to the 10-point plan that Iran had been talking about for weeks. Iran did not budge from its plan. That was Iran's plan. And why do you think the people in Iran are celebrating on the streets right now? Okay. So you have Donald Trump out there trying to spin this as some amazing victory, golden age. We're going to make so much money. I mean, you're celebrating a ceasefire where you've agreed to give Iran everything they wanted. What's your estimate of how long this ceasefire really holds? I'll let you make a guess. So then Donald Trump has state regime propaganda media in the U.S., which calls itself Fox. They've got to push this now, right? Lots of people don't watch the MeidasTouch network who watch Fox, although we get more viewers than Fox right now. But they have brainwashed their viewers, so they got to convince their viewers this is a win, right? Maybe people who don't know what's going on, convince them that it's a win, even though it's the biggest loss imaginable. So what do? Laura Ingraham, one of the top propagandists over on state regime media, she goes, tonight's news, it's bad news for Democrats. They thought they had Trump in a box, but he got the last laugh. What, last laugh? I just read the 10 points. Here, play this clip.
Okay, so actually tonight's news is actually bad news for them. I'm sorry, I'm going to say it the way it is. They always underestimate Trump. And as for 2028 Van Halen, who we just saw, he has the charisma of a mollusk. So we were at the precipice here. We had to rewrite the script. Donald Trump continues to rewrite the political script. Democrats believe they finally had Trump and the entire MAGA movement in a box. But once again, the last laugh will be on them.
Then Laura Ingraham's like, it looks like Donald Trump hit a home run here with this deal. Like, are y'all so weirdly thirsty for deals that you make quite literally the worst? Before the war started, Iran didn't control the Strait of Hormuz. Iran agreed to not enrich its uranium. U.S. had military bases in the region. And so now you've just agreed to completely do the opposite. And you're saying, we hit a home run, everybody. This is a weird loser mentality. These are just weird losers. Loser mentality. What are you talking? You think this is first off, we should have never been in this unlawful and catastrophic war in the first place. But now you're saying that after all of the war crimes, this is how I want to phrase it. After all of the war crimes that you've committed, after all of the disasters, your win is this? Here, play this clip.
Absolutely. And Matt, I want to move on to this Iran deal, the ceasefire deal that was announced tonight. It looks like Trump ultimately hits the home run here, takes it to the brink. Iran blinks, and now it's just a matter of time. They're going to wrap up these details, notwithstanding the Iranian PR they're trying to put out tonight, which is obviously ridiculous.
Well, when will the Democrats and some Republicans ever learn that the rhetoric he uses is done for a reason? And it works, and they fall for it every single time. As you noted earlier in this show, I was shocked when everyone said, he wrote such terrible things on Easter. He knows what he's doing, and that's where we are and why we're where we are tonight.
Time for some talk. Life insurance talk, that is. You probably have it, but do you know how much you're paying for it and for how much you're being covered? Odds are you pay too much for too little. And did you know if you receive life insurance through your job and you're unexpectedly laid off, you could suddenly be covered for nothing? Scary to think about, but simple to get right thanks to SelectQuote, where I'm headed to sort out my life insurance policy today. For over 40 years, SelectQuote has been one of the most trusted brokers in insurance, helping more than 2 million Americans secure over $700 billion in coverage. Their mission is simple: to find you the right insurance policy for your unique needs. They shop, you save. Unlike other one-size-fits-all life insurance companies, SelectQuote's licensed agents work for you. In as little as 15 minutes, they'll compare policies from top-rated carriers to find you the best fit for your health and your budget. And they work for you for free. No medical exam, no problem. They partner with providers offering same-day coverage up to $2 million without needing to visit your doctor. Have high blood pressure, diabetes, or heart disease? SelectQuote has partners with policies designed for many pre-existing health conditions, so you get the protection you deserve. Head to SelectQuote.com and a licensed insurance agent will call you right away with the right policy for your life and your budget. Life insurance is never cheaper than it is today. SelectQuote. They shop, you save. Get the right life insurance for you for less and save more than 50% at SelectQuote.com/Meidas. Save more than 50% on term life insurance at SelectQuote.com/Meidas today to get started. That's SelectQuote.com/Meidas.
And then they try to act like smarts. They're like, do you know what this is like? This is like Henry V. Like Henry V. What are you talking about, Henry V? Play this clip.
And Ben, the pants on fire mentality by so many people after that Easter tweet. I mean, I kind of could sense what was going on here. I mean, if you're going to send something like that on Easter, well, that's serious, right? He's crazy like a fox. I don't know whatever you want, but he was sending a message, don't push it. We took out one bridge, we'll take them all out. And it's like Henry V, and one of Henry V's most famous speeches. We'll have to take you down to the absolute stud of a building to get you to pay attention, and that's what happened.
And then Mark Levin, who knows that this right here, this is total surrender by the Trump regime and Netanyahu. By the way, it's why Netanyahu wants to figure out how the hell do we get out of the ceasefire. Netanyahu's like, well, the ceasefire doesn't apply to Lebanon. It doesn't apply here. So watch what Netanyahu's going to do to try to get the ceasefire to blow. Watch MBS, Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia. Watch UAE. Watch what they're going to try to do to blow up the ceasefire. You'll see. But Mark Levin's like, okay, we've got a 10-point plan and they've agreed to this. Yeah, of course they agreed to it. Mark Levin, it's their plan. Trump had a 15-point plan, which was Iran's surrender. Iran had a 10-point plan, Trump's surrender. Did they meet in the middle? No, you know where they met? With Iran's 10-point plan on Trump and U.S. surrender. But go ahead, Mark Levin, trying to make excuses for it, Mark Levin. That's how he talks. That's why I do a Mark Levin impression. Play this clip.
How do we keep them in a box? And that's what we have to figure out. If we're not going to completely take them out because of the huge isolationist strain in the Democrat Party among the woke right, but again, MAGA, the Republicans are behind the president. But if we can't do it because of the political wins, if we can't do it because of other reasons, then how are we going to keep them in a box? It can't be just peace in our time. We have a 10-point deal and they've agreed to this. I just think it's going to be very, very complicated, very, very difficult. And I would say this to the President of the United States. I personally know that you will do the right thing, that you're going to try and make sure that it works for now and forever. And so I have complete faith in this man because he's brought us to this point.
And then Mark Levin's like, what we really need to do is we need to arm the people. Arm them. Here, play it.
That to me is very key. I've been talking about that in multiple appearances here and on radio. We have to arm the people because if we're not going to do regime change, they need to have the ability to do it. Reagan did it in Afghanistan. He did it in Nicaragua. He did it in Honduras. He did it in Angola. Donald Trump can do exactly the same thing. Somehow, some way, those people need to be able to get armed and need to take their future into their own hands. And I think they will.
And then they bring on Ron DeSantis to talk about marrying cousins. I'm not really sure what and in Florida, you can marry your cousin, apparently. Yeah, let's play this clip.
My free state of Florida, Governor Ron DeSantis. Governor, good to see you. Maybe I'm just a little ignorant here. I didn't know that it was legal to marry a first cousin.
Well, in a lot of states, it's not. Florida needs to get with the program on that one. It's obviously part of cultures that are antithetical to American values. And so that's something that we will get done one way or another.
And then Jesse Waters makes one big joke about it all. Jesse Waters finds this hilarious. Let's play it.
But this isn't over. We still have Cuba, Greenland, and Canada. Just kidding.
And then on state regime media, you have Hugh Hewitt, who goes, anyone who believes that Donald Trump really meant that he was going to obliterate the civilization, you don't understand sarcasm. That's Donald Trump being funny. He has humor. He does genocide jokes, everybody. Genocide joke Donald. Disgusting. Criminal, disgusting. Here, play this clip.
You know, there was a lot of reaction to the president's early Truth Social about annihilation, the wiping out of a civilization. There was all kinds of reaction and talk about that. But that forceful positioning may have gotten us to where we are here?
Look, it may have worked. Number one, we don't know who is running Iran. We don't know what they read. We don't know what the Farsi translation is. But anyone in the United States who read the civilization to be destroyed as the whole people of Iran is acting in bad faith, because he said explicitly, we're bringing to an end the 47-year regime, that's the IRGC, and God bless the people of Iran. So people can act in bad faith. The president didn't. He was threatening the regime. They got the message. They begged for the ceasefire.
But I'll say this. Larry Kudlow over on Fox Business, here's what he said. Here's what he goes. So Wall Street Journal is posting Iran's 10-point plan. Number 2 of their plan, continuation of Iran's control over the Strait of Hormuz. Number 3, acceptance that Iran can enrich uranium for its nuclear program. Is this what we want? Is this what we want? And as Donald Trump says that he's going to make so much money. Textbook art of the deal, Donald. Only Donald Trump could engineer a 25% increase in another country's GDP by declaring war on it. This account points out it's so true. Think about it. If you do 130 ships transiting the Strait of Hormuz each day, let's assume that's eventually what happens weeks down the road after the ceasefire's over. Let's say 50,000 ships transit the Strait of Hormuz each year. At a minimum, $2 million per ship gets paid to Iran. That's at least $100 billion in revenue for Iran. So their GDP is what, $400 billion? This war has been an amazing deal for Iran. Textbook art of the deal, Donald. Iran is imposing a fee of roughly $2 million per ship that it would split with Oman, which sits across the strait. That's its plan. That's its plan right there. Well, hit subscribe. Let's get to 7 million subscribers. Thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching. Be sure to add the MeidasTouch podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts for new updates every single day.